Hi, it's Frank, and I am doing a vlog this week on the Cakemaker. So, what is the main point of the film? So, the main point of the film is about Tomas wanting to go and find out about Orem's life. And in the beginning of the film, it shows Tomas kind of getting pleasure by talking about Orem and like his sexual experiences with his wife. And in some ways, like he wanted what he liked what Tomas wanted. So in a way, he wanted what Tomas was experiencing, and I think that led to like him falling in love with Tomas's wife, um, Anat, or not falling in love, but at least like they both caught feelings for each other. Um, I think the main point of the film, though, is like a desire to queer archive, especially when you have a relationship that you can't talk about openly. When it was cheating the way that it was between RM and Tomas. So in what ways is this a queer film? So there's the queer archiving present where he gets like his clothes, like, and kind of just also gets to see where he lived and gets to be where RM was, Tomas does. It's a queer film in their relationship, and it's also queer in the way in the grieving processes. It's very unlike anything I've ever seen. Like Tomas's character is not really shown as having much emotion. Excuse me, or really not having gone through much of a grieving process, as well as RM's wife Anat. However, that could have been due to the fact of the nature of RM leaving and like that initial shock of learning that like he was having an affair in Berlin might have changed some of it. But I mean, and then it's queer and like the way that they both kind of, I think, in grieving losing RM in their lives, they like find each other and that like um, Tomas, like, in order to honor RM, I think wanted to help out RM's wife, who he like already did a lot for. Like he would make the cookies in Berlin for her, so he'd always been kind of caring for her in a way, even when RM was having like extramarital affairs. So the costumes in the film, they both dress fairly kind of straight passing, and Orem is stylish somewhat, but he mostly wears like darker clothes, and he had a beard and shorter hair. He appeared pretty straight passing. Tomas too. However, I think like having him as a baker and the outfit of him like wearing the apron was kind of a costume in some ways. I think the apron can be seen as feminine because like the historical nature of women being seen as like belonging in the kitchen, and then like juxtaposing that by him being a man who's a really talented baker and like that's his life work. Like it shows that he has a bit of like a sensitive side, or it shows that Tomas is kind of capable of not caring about what people think. It also doesn't seem like Tomas had many friends or any really much going on besides the baking. Um, what did I like about the film? Okay, like, to be honest, it was a kind of a confusing film because Tomas and Anat refused to give any emotion. But I did think that, like, in some ways, I started like taking a step back when I was watching the movie, which you don't normally get to do when you're watching a movie. I'm like, okay, what is this showing me? What is the importance of like seeing Tomas kind of not grieve and like not show emotion? He's always just like, and I think that like it represents like for forever, um, gay people have had to have queer people have had to have regular marital relations where they're expected to like act within the sexuality that their sexual identity they're given as a child, and to marry and to have kids, and then the only way to actually express themselves is like out of marriage and to keep it a secret. And therefore, like Tomas's inability to show emotion might be related to like the fact that he already is like accustomed to not being able to fully express who he is. I also thought, I guess I liked how Anat came to like him in the way that he was like very giving and would make her like spectacular baked goods. Like you knew from like seeing her bite it and like the shots of like her eating his cakes like kind of seductively, and then to shooting to him being naked in the shower, like you kind of knew what was going on. So I mean, it was an extremely subtle movie, but I think once you started to appreciate it as such, you could get a lot from it. That's not to say I wish there was a bit more emotion, but it was kind of like a thought exercise. What did I learn about myself by watching the film? Um, I think I learned that I I also sometimes like the way that Tomas says that like, oh, like I'm not alone, like I have you once a month, and I have my work, and so on. He is emotionally pretty fragile because he doesn't give himself much of a support group, and is very, very individualistic. And I'm not extremely like that, but I have moments in my life where I think that like just constantly working and like having a few interactions with my friends every so often is like what I want, or that's like socially enough for me. But I think as it was shown through Tomas, like no, you need people in your life that care about you. And how did the film make me feel? Honestly, uneasy. I did not understand either their relationships with RM. Nobody seemed emotionally close until Anat and Tomas at the end, and then the way that she had her like mafia brother send him away, which was very impersonal. And I guess it was creepy what he did, but like no one else was caring for her, and he obviously cared, and it's definitely confusing. But and then the fact that she didn't even say hi to him when she saw him at the end, like she just wanted to confirm that it was actually him that Orem was seeing that whole time. I just Everyone in that movie was so unemotional in a lot of ways. Yeah. Anyway, this is my vlog. Thank you.